So now this is how to cut Senator native top. So now the length I'll be using is 33. So to the length I had 5 inches, which makes it 38. Can you see from the top? 38. And for this body that I cut, if you can see, it is in two places. One is for the back and the one on top is for the front, and it was folded. So now let me explain how I calculated it. If you see from the body now, this is 11.5 quarter. So the chest, I use the chest measurement because if the between the chest and the tummy, if the tummy measurement is bigger than the chest, you make use of the tummy, and if it is chest, you make use of the chest. And the chest is 39, so I divided it by 2, that is 19.5. I added 4 inches, and that is 23.5. So that 23.5, I now divided it into 2, so which gives me 11.5 quarter. So this is 11.5 quarter here. So that one is very simple and straightforward. So next thing, remember I said earlier that I added 5 inches to the length. So the 5 inches simply stand for 1, 2 inches for folding, and I will have to remove 3 inches out of the one on top, which is the front here. So this is it. I've marked it. So I'm removing 3 inches here, straight down. As you can see, these 3 inches from the front, not from the back. So it's just the front alone you remove 3 inches from. And if you like, you can add 6 inches to your length. That means that you'll be removing 4 inches. Or probably if you'll be using 3 inches, it can be 3 inches you want to use for folding. It depends on how much you have your fabric. And the next thing is to measure the back. And the back is 18. That is divided by 2, that is 9. Then you will add sewing allowance, which is 9.5. The sewing allowance is ½ inch. So you measure like 3 times 9.5. So next thing, you connect the lines together. Then from the top here, the line from the back line, you measure 2.5. That is for the slanting. And here I will have to measure the neck. So for this person, the neck is 16.5. So I'm using 2 quarter here. 2 quarter here. The person didn't really have much necking though. So from the 2 quarter, I will have to slant it down to the 2.5 and measure from the back line. Hope you understand that. So then I cut. Can you see? So this is the 2 quarter for the neck, and this is the shoulder that I slanted. So you bring it up to cut exactly at the back, but make sure that while you are bringing it up, you make sure that this thing is okay on it, as in, I mean, it's not like this, but like this. So you trim this also exactly like the top to have the same measurements. Then after that, you draw it back. So the next thing, I'll make use of my iron, and what I want to do now is to bend this on the top with ½ inches. You make sure that this thing covers it with ½ inches, and that one serves as the sewing allowance for the shoulder, as you can see. So I will have to iron it now. So as you can see, it's folded now with ½ inch, as it covered the top with ½ inch. So I've measured the back also. Say it's not measured on the back already. So since I folded it, I have to measure because I will have to cut from the bent side. So this is it, 9.5. Remember the back is 18 divided by 2, 9, and with ½ inch for sewing allowance, which is 9.5. So from there, to get your armhole, you use your back measurement too. That is divided by 2 also, which is 9. So you measured it from the back line or shoulder line. So this is your armhole. And now the next thing is, we are not cutting this straight line, this L shape. We are not cutting it, so it will have to be like in C shape. So to get that, first you measure this line, you intersect it, the middle, you demarcate it, and you measure like 1.5 behind. So from here it will connect from the top here in curve shape, curve line rather, and from here it will go likewise. So it will be in this form. So did you see that? Very easy. So, and you check your back measurement again if you see it correct. Now as you can see, it's correct. So the next thing is to measure the chest, and the chest is measured below your armhole, and the chest is 39. So divided by 2, that is 19, by 2 again, that is 9.5 quarter. So 9.5 sorry 39 divided by 2, that is 19.5. so divided by 2 again. Probably make it this way so that you won't be confused with the measurements. So you can see 9.5 quarter, then you add 1 inch, so that is 10.5 quarter. Don't forget, below the armhole. So next thing is your tummy. So the tummy is just like 6 inches below the chest. So the tummy is 36, that is divided by 4. So that means we are divided by 4 now. So tummy divided by 4 is just like that chest divided by 4, which is 9.5 quarter, and I add 1 inch to it, that makes it 10 quarter, and that 1 inch is for the sewing allowance. So now for the tummy divided by 4, that is 9 plus 1, that is 10. Well, as you can see, the much difference is because of the customer have a big chest, and this line is the hip line, and you can make use of the chest measurement also, or probably make use of what you measured from the hip, but you can make use of the chest anyway. So the chest is 10.5 quarter also here. So next thing is to connect the lines, and for the slit here, so make use of 12.5. So now the shape. So this side to curve this way. Yeah. So that means while we are sewing, this is where we stop for the slits. So the next thing is to cut the neck. Remember, I used 2 quarter here, so you measure it again, 2 quarter. And for this neck, which is 16.5 that I measured, so for the deep, so I'm using 4.5. So connect the lines. As you can see, so what I need here is this. Then you put your scissors under the folded part of the back, then you cut, then you curve it like this, bring it to the front. Make sure your hand is very straight so that you can get a perfect semicircle. as you can see. So this place that go up like this, you won't leave it that way. So you can probably do it this, cut it from here or open it this way and straighten it. So very simple, as you can see. So this is the measurement for the neck. And the next thing is to measure the sleeve, and the sleeve is 32 and a half. The sleeve is measured from the middle of the back. So you place the 32 and a half. This is assumed as the middle of the back. If you remember, this is the folded part, so it's like the middle of the back, and this is the back measurement. So you place your 32 and a half on the middle of the back, and you place the remaining here to the edge where your back ends. So that is 23, and you add 1 inch, that is 24. And you, after you've added the 1 inch, you remove 3 inches. 1 2 3, that is 21. So let me explain that. The 1 inch is for one, half for sewing allowance for the shoulder, and half for the handband because it is cufflinks hand. So and the 3 inches we removed is for the band measurements, which is the 3 inches. So now said 23 plus 1 24, so minus 3 1 2 3, so that's 21. So after you've gotten that, you now measure your armhole. This is your armhole. So 10 and a half. So I'll be cutting 10 and a half armhole, and length of the sleeve 21.